Where have you learned English?
Well, I've been learning since I started school. Before that, I it was normal to learn English in the kindergarten, and since then I consider that myself to have a very good foundation about this language. So I think then in the other grades, uh, I don't, uh, I don't feel
What
difficult
is
with
your typical
language.
day like?
Okay, my typical day is to work, or maybe it could be to activities of with my family or activities of my church because I have different activities in my church. For example, to practice the music, or maybe to do evangelization in areas inside of the city.
Tell me about your last holiday.
Well, in my last holiday, I remember that I stayed with my family and principally with my parents and my brother. Remember to went to the went at the beach, Cojimies, and celebrate the wedding of my sister. So and my brother-in-law. So we enjoyed this beautiful moment and enjoy the moment with my family.
Part 2. In this part, I'm going to ask you to describe a picture. Then I will ask you two questions about it. You will have 45 seconds for each response. Begin speaking when you hear this sound. Describe this picture.
Well, I see that this picture that um, I consider that the same situation when the COVID pandemic started in the world, and I remember that this virus that very famous and very dangerous that we have to have a distance of 2 meters with other people. So in this occasion, I'll see a lot of people with a mask in your face. Maybe could be protect about this virus, or maybe only a flu because don't we have a distance.
Which job would you like to do in the future?
Well, if I right now I be sorry. So if I were a child now and I had to choose my profession, I will be a teacher, which is what today I am a teacher, an English teacher, and I like my job. It's sometimes it is stressful, but I love interact with my students, and every day we have different techniques or learn about how the students learn English or learn about the skills to develop in this language. So that is a job that
Would
I
you prefer to work for a big or a small company?
okay. In my case, I prefer to work in a small company, or maybe in my right now I be a teacher. So I think I say a small school because I like a small environment because the communication is easier and more personal. As an English teacher, enjoy getting to know my students well, and I need to adapt their needs more personality. And I think that in a small place, the teamwork is closer and the decisions are made faster, and also I feel more
Part 3. In this part,
comfortable.
I'm going to ask you
And
to
I think
compare
that
two pictures,
pressure my
and I will then
team
ask you two questions
and
about them.
create more,
You will have
maybe
45
also
seconds
planification.
for each response. Begin speaking when you hear this sound.
Tell me what you see in the two pictures.
Well, I see two pictures, and the first, I see a woman that study, maybe it could be a history about her country, or maybe about um, the history. I don't know. And the other, I think that classmate that prepared the project, and then, or maybe preparing you about their final exam. But the two pictures, in the two people, people picture the persons are
What might these
studying
people
for
be feeling in
a
these
test.
situations?
Okay, in this situation, I think that the all students could be in the two pictures could be a students. They're feeling maybe stressful, maybe nervous because they need to prepare something about project, or maybe investigate about I don't know. Then they have exam, a lesson, and I think that when I have this assignment, that when I listen exam, I remember that feel stressed. So I think that is the same situation.
Do you prefer to work alone or with friends?
Well, in my case, I prefer to work with my friends because we have the opportunity to divide or classify the roles. For example, I don't know, we have to do investigation. So I say, my first friend say, okay, I start with the introduction of this investigation. Then I have the opportunity to do the other paragraph about the content of this information, and finally me or my other friend say, I conclude this information investigated and say the resume of this investigation. So I think that we have our more effective, and we have other environments.
Part 4. In this part, I'm going to show you.
You now have 2 minutes to talk.
Well, answer this question. I say yes. I think that I'm a good recycle, but I know I can always improve. For example, at home, on my job in the school, I try to separate the plastic, maybe the paper, or maybe other organic food. For example, in my school provide um, fruit, so the students to maybe the peel of banana to put in the correct trash. So I think that I think many things we throw away should be recycled, especially the plastic bottles, maybe a cardboard, papers, or the markers, or maybe glasses. So these materials can be using again, and maybe could be created new products or maybe crafts or or use in other opportunity. In my daily life, I try to reduce waste too. Not only recycle, but I prefer to reuse the bags, for example, in my case, and the bottles. And finally, I think that, in my opinion, um, recycle should be mandatory. The latest are basic things like plastic and paper, because many people don't don't recycle. So I think that is an important rule, and this is important because to protect and give more life for our planet and more environment healthy for us. But um, I think that the people don't understand very well this. But as a teacher, I try to understand to my students to how it is important to recycle the old products that need to do other uh, to do use in other opportunity or to create something new. Okay, so thank you.